My name is Joe Reichard. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Saab Doctor DIY. Today we're going to be going over how to replace the tie rod ends and the inner tie rods on a 2008 Saab 9.3. This will be a similar procedure for all 2003 through 2011 9.3 sedans, 2004 through 2011 9.3 convertibles, and all sport combis. This will be the same for both front and cross-wheel drive. Please stay tuned. Fun is with rented tools and the inner and outer tie rod ends. I've never actually done an inner tie rod on one of these. The alignment shop said it needed one. According to WIS, it's a 32 millimeter. You could use a 32 mil crow's foot or a master inner tie rod tool set. So I grabbed the master set. Figured it would make it easier. We'll take a look at this. Rented this from my local parts store. Oh, that's neat. It's ever tough and yep, not gonna say what this resembles, but you can figure that out yourself. So let's get to it. All right, step one is going to be remove the tie rod nut. Step two is actually going to be to loosen take the tie rod off. You can use a pickle fork. I'm just going to use a hammer since we're not reusing it. Okay. Since I already know this isn't going to turn, step three is going to be to cut it off. Jeez, my die grinder is acting like I've killed the air compressor. Guess for once I actually remembered to turn the air compressor off. This will only take a minute. Oh, it's already better. Okay. All right, now that that's cut off, I'm going to remove the boot, and hopefully we're able to take this tie rod end off really nice and easy. All right, now looking back, I personally would have ordered new boots if I'd have thought about it, but I figured we didn't need it. And with this stuff, I need to be really particular not to rip the boot, because my alignment shop is very, very particular on what they will and won't work on. So, got to be really careful with this, not to wreck this boot. All right, that one came off pretty good. Got the tool. Should be the correct one. This is 1 3/8. All right. Yep, that's going to be a super snug fit. I honestly wish I would have thought this through and done this while I had the strut out, but I wanted to show everybody that it's easy enough to do with the strut in. Just take this. We grab the actual pry tool. So we'll grab this. Give this just a nice push down. Fit this right over. All right. Take this. And realistically, this should just be one hard turn and she should go. Yep, cracked right off. So to figure out about where the stop nut goes, you take the two, put them side by side, and then you adjust it till they're about the same. Now the thing you have to remember is you're going to have to take the end off, but what you want to do is you want to check this end to the center approximately of your ball joint. So these two are going to be really, really close now. So then I'm just going to take the stop nut, snug it up, unscrew this, and one thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take like a paint pen or something and mark where that goes, because you're going to have to undo the stop nut to flip the boot over. This is not a very exact science, this is very approximate. So I'm just going to take it, put a mark right on this side. Take the stop nut off, and then I know where to put the stop nut to. So let's get her put in the car. Tighten her down. This is the point where you slip your boot back in. Don't forget your outside clamp. Now for the inside clamp, I'm going to do something that some people will say is a terrible idea. I'm actually going to use a hose clamp. And that's because without having the rack out, getting that actual clamp that comes on these, or getting one similar to that back in, is going to be near impossible. Plus, I didn't order a brand new one. We're using the same boot we had, so sometimes you just have to use what you got. Rung what you brung. One of those two. And sometimes you just gotta He-Man them back on with your fingers, I guess. Alright, that's over the edge. This is why I always wear gloves. There we go. Alright, back on, good as new. Take this jam nut, run it right back up to the yellow lines. There we go. Take this. Take this tie rod in. Put it on. Alright. She's on, she's in. Put that there. Now one thing I'm going to note that I found really interesting. So I bought corresponding Moog parts for both sides. The other side doesn't have a grease fitting, nothing like that. This side, the other side didn't have a grease fitting, and it came with just a standard old lock nut. This side, cotter pin, castle nut, washer, grease zerk, or grease fitting, depending on where you're from. So we'll install all of that. I just find this really interesting because the other side didn't have this, and it looks like the grease fitting on the one that's in there came pre-greased. Or the joint came pre-greased, so that's at least good. Tighten that up. Don't forget, if you have one with a cotter pin, put your cotter pin in. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Saab Doctor. Just remember, if you enjoyed this, if this was helpful for you, like, share, and subscribe, and Saab on, folks.